Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Backdoor Banter, your guide to self-improvement from a few guys still figuring it out. For those who haven't tuned in before, my name is Lawrence and I'm joined with my co-hosts
Edmund and
Justin.
And just a quick intro, how do we know each other?
So I'm actually Lawrence's brother and Justin's training buddy and mate.
Yep. And I know Lawrence from, how long has it been? Since primary school even, eh?
Yes, since primary school.
Good, like 15 years?
More? Yeah, more
20,
than that.
20 probably, yeah.
20 years, exactly.
I forget I'm not in my early 20s anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd like to say this was a podcast that we've been wanting to do for quite some time now. And what are we actually going to be talking about though today, Edmund?
So today we're going to be talking about self-reflection and journaling and how it's helped us and how we can also help you as well and just our experiences. So I'm just going to start off with a question. Do you guys journal?
Yes, sir. I'm a big journaler. I love writing down my thoughts.
I do not. I don't journal.
Okay, me, myself, I used to be an avid journaler, but I haven't been journaling as much as I would hope. But yeah, how has journaling helped you, Justin?
I think a good place to start actually is like, I feel like all of the time when we're watching like self-improvement videos and that kind of stuff, like journaling always comes up as like something that is like good to do. But I think for the longest time, I didn't like really like understand why, but just like I've done it for a long time now. And I think for me personally, it's the biggest thing is like externalizing my thoughts, right? Because I feel like day to day, I'm like, you know, you're just doing whatever. You come up with thought that like, oh, you know what, that's something I should do, or you know, I didn't like that, or like just general feelings come up that you don't have time to process in the moment. And I think journaling is like the perfect tool to kind of deal with those things, right? It lets you get those thoughts out of your head so that you can move on with your life. It lets you put words to like certain emotions that you kind of come across so that you can kind of let go of those emotions. And I think in general, it's a good place to think because it forces you to put your like kind of half-baked thoughts into like real words. And that lets you, in my experience, it lets you move forward with life a bit easier.
And it's also something good to look back on, right? Like especially when you do journal, let's say a year from now, you look back at it and you just see what, like mentally where you were back then and where you are now. I feel like that's what helps me a lot. Like
Is this the same as like someone or a kid writing, "Dear diary, today John smacked me in the bum and I didn't really like it that much." Like in primary school when you'd have a little locket on it. Is journaling the same as that? Or is it like having a diary like something a bit different? Because that would probably change my answer on whether I have journaled or not.
I mean, for me personally, journaling is whatever you want it to be, right? It can really be that, dear diary, this guy. This guy,
my uncle touched me.
My uncle touched me today, but yeah, it's really whatever you want it to be. Like me personally, I keep journaling as a way to keep myself accountable. So I would journal a lot of what I did today, how I can do better, and then let's say a year down the line, I'll look back and either see, wow, I'm not where I want to be, or wow, I've made so much progress since this day. And yeah, it just depends on what you want to get out of it. Because there are lots of different types of journaling, right? I know the main one a lot of people do is gratitude journaling, which is like, it's pretty much, I call it like the big four of self-improvement. It's like meditation, working out, journaling, and gratitude journaling, and yes, and those other topics, right? And yeah, just what kind of journaling do you have you guys dabbled in? I know you've dabbled in a bit of journaling, right, Lawrence?
Yeah, I've actually done gratitude journaling, so I lied about my answer. Now that I remember, I have done some gratitude journaling consistently for a short period of my life, and that's all that there is like regarding journaling, and it's a very quick process as well. I just list like 3 things that I'm grateful about, and that's it. It would probably take me like a minute. So yeah, there's not too much time spent on that for me.
Yeah, and like, what kind of journaling do you do, Justin?
I do all sorts. I'm like basically like writing down like my thoughts all the time. So I have like regular check-in kind of journalings where it's like every morning, I don't do it every morning, but I've got like a list of questions to kind of like get the mindset right kind of thing. It's like, what am I looking forward to today? What do I have on? Like what's one thing I'm grateful for? So I always have like a weekly version of that where I just kind of review my week and then plan next week. So those are kind of more check-in, like less introspective, just kind of to gather my thoughts. I also do like, if I just feel a bit frazzled, I kind of have built the habit of just, okay, I know I'm frazzled. I need to get my thoughts straight. So I'll just kind of sit down and kind of, get my thoughts out, try to understand where my head's at. And then once in a while, I'll do like a really like deep dive, like journaling session where just sit down and like think about life, like maybe once a year, kind of think about, the big questions, like what do I care about? Like who am I as a person? What do I value? That kind of stuff. And those are maybe once in a while.
Have you seen that? Like, have you seen any immediate gains? Like with journaling, or when do you actually see the immediate gains?
I feel like there's like an immediate gain, which is for me personally. I feel like for certain types of journaling, my head's just clearer, and I feel like I've let go of something that was like bothering me.
Yeah.
So that's like an immediate gain. So for example, sometimes I'll have like incessant thoughts of like, I don't know, some guy pissed me off or something like that, right? And then like, even though I know it's silly or whatever, my mind can't let go of it.
Yeah.
Until I've got it down on like paper or digital paper. So that's the immediate gain. But on a more like big picture level, I feel like the really introspective sit down and really think about myself has been like a bit more of a longer term like thing where I feel like, okay, over time, I've just nudged my life towards closer and closer to where like I want it to be. Like I kind of know like, okay, what generally like is a really good day for me, or like what kind of people I like to spend my time with, what kind of activities I like to spend my time doing, and like, who I just want to be as a person. So that one is like a longer time scale. Those more introspective ones don't have as immediate of a gain as opposed to just the journaling to clear up my thoughts. But
yeah,
a bit of both.
No, that's nice. That's nice. Like, where would you tell someone to start though? If someone was to start journaling, how did you start it? No, how did you start?
How did I start? I think just watching like a lot of YouTube videos and getting like, this is when I was like first getting into my like self-improvement journey, and I kept hearing like, oh, you should journal, you should write, like all of these things, right? So it just started out as one of those things where, I try it out because people say it's good, and then it stuck at some point. So I want to say maybe 6-7 years ago I started.
Yeah.
And the way I started was I kind of did a lot of exploring actually. Like sometimes I would follow some guy's template, or sometimes I would just like do whatever. If I were to recommend to a beginner, I would just say do like a daily session, set a timer for 10 minutes, keep it short, and then just, you can't leave, you can't end it early, you can't go over, just like you have to do the 10 minutes. So even if you sit there and nothing is coming out, you have to sit there for 10 minutes and just chill out, if nothing comes out, nothing comes out. But most likely what will happen is once your brain has like no other option to like distract you, something will come out within like 2 or 3 minutes. So that's why I would recommend it. Keep it simple, no templates or anything. Yeah. Just set a 10-minute timer and write.
True.
Yeah, that's pretty good, because I feel like me personally, when I journal, I kind of treat it as a bit of a, like even a lot of these self-improvement tasks, sometimes it just becomes a chore more than something that it gets it off my mind. Like I remember I would used to always journal and I just wanted to get it out the way. But I feel like there's like no benefit to it, it's not really sticking. I'm pretty much just trying to vomit whatever I want out onto the paper and not really think about it. So I think, setting a timer and actually doing it is actually a very, very good tip that I think I myself should implement. and actually sit with the question and answer it and actually have a think about it. Because a lot of times I would just do so I started off with gratitude journaling, and I would just think of it takes me a minute, think of 3 things, and then not actually sit with it and not actually thinking, am I really grateful for this, or do I just want to pump this out as fast as I can?
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think about that?
I think I've been there as well, like how it was kind of like a chore to me. There were times where I just did it as something that I felt like I had to do, opposed to being more introspective regarding the gratitude journaling. Like you said, it only takes a minute, but sometimes I did take a little bit longer than that to really try and think about what I'm actually grateful for. And some examples would be like, oh, I'm really grateful for my parents for, moving to a whole another country, giving me this life and all that, and having a roof over my head and all that stuff. So when I really started thinking deep into stuff like that, or maybe even just like, I'm grateful that I have like a home office, for example, because a lot of people don't have that free space in their house. And when I really started thinking deeper into it, that's when I find that it's like the most rewarding and has had the most impact towards my life. And that's my thoughts. And I know I haven't had that much experience in journaling, but I did gratitude journal for quite some time, and I saw some pretty good immediate effects. But it wasn't even like a it wasn't like a light bulb, not light bulb moment, but it wasn't that dramatic to change. Like, it's not something that you can see visibly right away, and you might just change your behaviors subconsciously, and then after you reflect, you realize that your thought process has changed. And an example of that was like one time I was at the gym, peak hour, and I was gratitude journaling for quite some time, and it was like packed, very, very packed, so many people at the gym. And then I had a friend that I bumped into, just have a chat with me, and he was like, oh yeah, it's he's like, oh, it's so freaking packed at this time, man, like I just hate it, it's so bad. And then I think I said something across the lines. I was like, no, it is packed, but hey, at least we only need to wait a little bit, something. It was something kind of
something very zen.
Very zen, yeah.
At least we have a gym.
Yeah, at least something like that. At least we have a gym, but now I forgot this.
It's like looking on the bright side, kind of.
Yeah, looking on the bright side. Yeah, on the bright side, because then I was just grateful about all these little things that I felt like the pack gym didn't piss me off as much as it would have maybe even 5-6 months back, because you guys have, I'm sure a lot of the audience can relate when the powerlifter hogs the squat racks for a whole hour, right? And it's so packed
on their phone,
and stuff.
That used to be you, bro.
That used to be me, exactly. And then I would get pissed off because there's another powerlifter camping there, and hey, man, I'm trying to powerlift for an hour. So but then just stuff like that just didn't really affect me after that gratitude journaling. I was just it's packed, but it is what it is, Yeah.
So you kind of built that habit of being grateful, or looking for the positives. Looking
for the positives. Yeah. Being more optimistic, and it's not the end of the world. At the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. Because the gym is packed. So it did help me become a bit more of an optimistic thinker.
Yeah. And
what made you start, I guess? And what made you start, and then what made you drop the hobby?
Well,
not hobby, but yeah, habit.
Ooh, I wouldn't say it was a hobby, but
yeah, habit. Sorry.
Yeah. So what made me start was mainly when Edmund introduced me to that Hamza fella. Well, he's been a pivotal a few influencers have been quite pivotal in my life, and Hamza's one of them. We spoke about it in episode 1, and I started meditating and gratitude journaling. It was just part of the package that he introduced in the video.
The starter pack.
Yeah, exactly. It was just a starter pack that he just shared. Right, it's gratitude journaling, meditating, and like no more instant dopamine. And it was just those three, and it's like, all right, man, I'm gonna follow it. So that's the reason why I started, and it made more and more sense. Like when I like every day that I did it, it made more and more sense on why I should be doing this. But I dropped off similar to how like many habits tend to drop off for people. You're in a rush, you don't do it one day, or you're tired, or you put it off for a day, and you just never get back to it. So I've done it like part time, once in a while, but it hasn't been something that I've done consistently for, I'd say, maybe a year. Yeah. But I still feel like I'm reaping those benefits. Still don't feel like I'm that pessimistic, unless you guys say otherwise.
No, you're definitely a lot. Well, I don't know about a lot more positive. Like I don't, like me personally, I feel like you've always been pretty positive. Like you weren't always a pessimist. So yeah, not much I can say there. But same here. Like with journaling, it's been an on and off thing for me as well. I used to journal pretty regularly, like the gratitude journaling, and just journaling. You can see in my journal there are very big gaps. Like there would just be a solid 2 weeks where I would journal, and then 3 months, 6 months of nothing, and no, not even nothing. It's just the next date would be 3 to 6 months later, and then I just look back on my journal and just be like, oh, damn, I haven't made much progress, or I've come a long way since then. And recently, earlier this year, I did get back into journaling very frequently, like almost every night, with my girlfriend. So we used to journal a lot together, and so we would come up with prompts, because we were just at this point we were just getting to know each other. So we would come up with prompts, or not come up with prompts, we would search up prompts, and then because she had this board game thing, and it just has a prompt, it has a question attached to it, and we'll think, oh yeah, that's a good question, let's journal about it, and we just share what we've journaled about. And it was just a good way to get to know each other, and I would recommend anyone do it. Well, I don't know, there comes a point where you do run out of prompts, but it's a very good exercise just to get to know each other, if they're the right person, if they're not the right person. And yeah, like the things she shared with me, it was pretty good, like pretty good ways. And like usually they would probably answer, like judging by the prompts, because they're pretty, I would say they're self-reflecting prompts, and you would get to know more about the other person, right? And especially this, if you're going to spend the next however long with them, you should get to know how they are. Like, I have an idea of how they are. So I think that journaling with a person that you're getting to know, or in a partner setting, is a pretty good idea.
How'd that even come up? I mean, like, first off, it's like super cute. I feel like it's like really good, because like it's a bit hard to bring up these like deeper questions like naturally in conversation, right? You can't just like, oh, what are your hopes and dreams? It's a bit like, it's a bit much. Yeah. But having like treating it as like more of a game or an activity is like really like cool way to go about it. Like who brought it up? Like how did you guys get to that?
Honestly, I genuinely don't remember.
Were you guys watching Hamza videos together?
She wants me to be her Adonis.
Yeah.
But no, I genuinely don't know. I think we just talked about journaling, and then I was like, oh yeah, I want to get back to journaling. And I think a lot of girls journal. Like a lot of girls
think so,
journal.
to be honest,
it's a pretty big thing for them too.
So it evolved from like the Dear Diary.
Yeah.
My dad is such a fucking dickhead. To journaling about.
Yeah, like I remember I would tell a lot of people, and they're just like, "Fuck, that's kind of gay, man." But it's fine. It's fine. Like I get a lot of the self-improvement stuff is a bit gay to like most people, especially in our area. But I think I find it's pretty good. But how to come up? Yeah, we were just talking about journaling, and then we just got into it, and then we just shared. Yeah, and then we just started sharing, and we journaled pretty consistently for about, I would say, a month. And then I think one day I just didn't do it, and then it just kept getting. It went from like, and then it went to like once a week, and then just nothing more. And then, but this is a good segue, because later down the line, we did like a journal prompt, and then we were at a picnic, and then this was the day I was going to ask her out, and then we were at a picnic, and then I was like, oh, let's journal at the picnic because it's nothing out of the ordinary, right? And then so she didn't know like exactly what to expect. So then I asked her out in the journal. I think it was like what I think the prompt was, what do you look for in a partner? And then I just journaled about it, and then I ended it off with, will you be my girlfriend? And then
God damn, that's a good wedding story, bro.
Yeah. Did she have to journal? Like, did she have to write yes? Or
She, I think no. Well, I said will you be my girlfriend, and then question mark, and then I didn't put and then I gave it to her.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I read it out to her, and then she wrote down yes.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Well, you guys have to get back to journaling. Like that's pretty much how you. Does your partner still journal? Does your girlfriend still journal?
She still journals.
Yeah.
Well, she definitely journals a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
But and I gotta get back into it. Like recently, I dabbled into. So I was into a self-improvement rabbit hole again, like just watching self-improvement videos, and I stumbled upon this thing called shadow journaling, which is pretty interesting. Like I've been meaning to dabble into it, but I don't know, I just haven't. I think it's got a bit seeds, but it's just about, I think, so there's something called your shadow, which is your inner child. And then I downloaded this template, and then it just comes up with prompts where you talk about like your past, and then pretty much try to kind of heal your childhood. If you had any childhood trauma, just to reflect on it, see how you can be there for yourself, and just how you can help yourself. And it's pretty interesting, but I probably don't know enough about it to actually go into depth.
Yep.
But it's just something that I've been looking into and want to start implementing. But it's a pretty interesting concept.
Yeah.
Healing your inner child. I think that's the main concept of it. Yeah.
I see.
Like, what do you guys feel? How do you guys feel about that?
I've
It
heard
sounds
about
a bit woo woo, but
It does sound woo woo. It also sounds a bit like edgy. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's your shadow.
shadow.
But I know what you mean. It's like, from what I understand of it, it's like, as you're growing up, there's like certain things that happen that kind of stunt your growth, like emotionally. Like, it's just someone called you gay or something, right? And then like it's like, oh, I'm not gonna share my feelings anymore or something, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just this like collection of like unprocessed like emotion. And then I've noticed it as well after like I learned about the ID, where it's like certain times you do something and then you think back like, what the fuck did I do that? It was like, it's so cringe or something, right? And it's like, I think the idea is that kind of inner child, that shadow came out, and it's like not properly integrated with your like day-to-day like mind. And then you need to kind of integrate it, I guess. But that's what I understand of it. I don't know.
Like I've heard a lot of people that it helps them like overcome their procrastination, because your inner child it wants to just stick to whatever's comfortable, and because like when you face a new challenge, right, you tend to procrastinate because you're scared. Because the main reason why people procrastinate is usually because of fear, right? Would you say?
Yeah.
And then it just heals that fear, so you can tackle it head on. Yeah, and you'll not procrastinate as much. But that's just what I heard. But
Okay. So how would you approach shadow journaling? Is it like, did you find like a template, or is it like,
yeah, I found a template, but I got up to day 5 and then the same thing happened. I just stopped. Yeah.
Yeah. And for the audience, right? Like, what if what are these little devices that you guys are holding? And I used to have one like that for those that want to start journaling. It's probably a bit expensive to get started, but like to tell them about that. What if they don't want to carry a book because they're scared that their mate or someone's gonna read it and call them names like you said earlier?
Well, what this is, it's a Kindle Scribe. It is a bit pricey, but it's a lot cheaper than an iPad per se. It's pretty good. You can read on it, write on it, and do a lot of things.
Has that helped with journaling? Like, does it make it easier?
Me personally, I don't journal on my Kindle Scribe. I prefer to journal just on paper.
Yeah,
because I don't know. I just journal on paper because I just like it better. Like, do Do you guys journal on your Kindle Scribe? Because I know you used to have one, Lawrence, before.
I don't know, man.
Before you didn't.
I think someone stole it, bro. So I had it, and then I would write everything on it, man. My deepest, darkest secrets were on there as well. So like there's a passcode on it, but so no one can find it. But if someone found it and like managed to do some IT hacker man stuff, then they might find some stuff that could, put me away for a long time. No, I'm joking. But or am I? But yes, I used to have one, but I don't know if I lost it because I was.
What he's trying to say is, you can return it. Just
Yes.
leave it at his door. No questions will be asked.
Exactly. No, some questions will be asked. I've got some hands for you, bro. Like if you're listening to this and you stole my Kindle Scribe, I think it was at the WeWork. I'm calling you out. I think someone may have potentially looked through my bag and taken it. I'm not sure, but if you're listening to this, come see me, bro. I'm gonna knock you out. Anyways,
Yeah,
moving on.
Yeah, sometimes I'll journal on the Kindle Scribe. Sometimes I do a bit of everything. I just go with the flow. So if I were to try break down when I use it each, Kindle Scribe most of the time. Sometimes I'll type it because it's convenient because I'm like already on my computer. And sometimes when I'm just overwhelmed with life, right? Like I just don't want to look at digital devices. I don't know. I just want something tangible. Then I'll write on paper. So those are I use all three at the right time.
Yeah, because I've heard that using a device was a no-no for a lot of journaling enthusiasts. If that's the right term? And there was no reason why, or maybe I just didn't seek that reason why. I just was like, all right, I'm not going to use a device, and I'll just use a piece of paper and a pen. Is there a reason why that some people would recommend? Would you guys know?
I don't know, to be honest. A lot of people just say writing sticks better.
Yeah,
It's
true.
just more. But me personally, I'm not too sure. I think because a lot of people type really fast and then it just skips over. But me personally, I type very slow, so maybe it makes no difference for myself. But yeah. But in terms of device, I feel like writing on a Kindle Scribe is the same as writing on paper, right? Because you're still writing.
I think so, yeah.
And yeah, I don't feel like there's any difference there.
Just
me
elitist, bro.
Elitist,
They're just elitist, bro.
Exactly.
Oh, writing on a Kindle Scribe is not the same. It just feels better or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey.
I think that for me, writing it helps me think a bit better, and it helps me journal with more purpose because I write a lot slower than I type. So I'm thinking deeper with every word if I was to reflect on it, and I'd probably skip over a lot of the introspective thinking with the typing. I was just if I was to grab a journal with a keyboard, I'd probably just list 3 things that I probably won't sit there and really take in that gratitude,
Right. It's it's too easy. So you just you just type whatever real quick. Whereas writing is a bit more effort.
Yeah.
So you got to be more mindful with it, I guess.
Yes, exactly. This is an interesting question, right? Very similar to, well, it's related to journaling, but I don't know if you guys would call this journaling. But I think it'll be good because you guys are both jiu-jitsu enthusiasts, and Mr. Blue Belt here just got his blue belt recently, and Edmund is working his way to that blue belt, I think, or maybe just another stripe.
Nah, I think I'm a long way away.
Long way away, okay. But anyways, I've heard with a lot of athletes and even just practitioners, predominantly jiu-jitsu players and practitioners, since it's often described as a game of chess and there's a lot of reflecting that people do. Do you guys journal about jiu-jitsu to after a session? I know it sounds a bit weird, but I think I've heard or read somewhere on Reddit that it may be beneficial just to reflect on your game and it may improve your performance in the future.
I actually did do that a lot when I first started. I was a lot more serious about jiu-jitsu when I was first getting into it. You're full excited about it.
Yeah.
So there was a time where I was I'd do my roles and everything, and then I would go home and I would be okay, what did I get caught? Like, where did I just get stuck, right? Was I stuck on the side control? Did I get caught by arm bars? Then I would just write that down, and then I would go like watch some I would go pirate some instructionals like to like solve that, right? And that I feel like that genuinely helped like quite a bit. I think it's also a thing that athletes do, right? Like, or at least esports athletes, they do like VOD reviews.
Yeah.
So like they'll play their game and then they'll go watch it back and then kind of review themselves. So yeah.
It would be a good way to reflect, right? Like, have you ever done something like that?
Me personally, I haven't. I think in terms of it definitely does help, but I don't know. I just haven't. I think after training, I just want to eat and go sleep. That's just the priority for me. But I think it would definitely help a lot more if I actually just record it instead of, because then because usually during the rolls, like you don't fully know, you're not fully aware of everything. But when you record it and watch it back, it would help a lot more, I would say. But I probably have like less than 10 recordings of my rolls. Like in the gyms, normal rolls, like I don't think I've even one. But I should. It's definitely something I should like. Yeah. And this ties into self-reflection, right? So you can reflect on how you roll, how you perform. And I feel like it would definitely skyrocket your growth. Because like a lot of people, especially in self-reflection and just watching back, like I feel like a lot of people when they show up with like this can go into jiu-jitsu, they just show up and then they just show up and bang, pretty much. Show up.
That's what I do.
Show up with no intention at all. And they don't really get much better. But the people that show up and actually self-reflect with a game plan, is that they then tend to reap a lot more of the benefits. They tend to progress a lot faster.
Just like approaching things with like just more intention.
Yeah.
I feel like as a general life principle as well, that's like really good. Like, and I think that's, actually a big benefit from journaling that I've had. It's like approaching the day with intention, approaching like the week with intention, approaching your year with intention, right? I think, kind of related is like a lot of people meme on like New Year's resolutions, but I think it's like underrated. Like even though it's like so popular, it's still underrated because just putting a bit of thought into like what you intend to do for the year is like very powerful. So I guess kind of based on that, like, do you guys, you say you don't journal too much then, like, do you find other ways to do reflection, or like how do you think about your year or the big picture in life?
Some
people just go with the flow as well. It's very Buddhist, like just day by day.
I basically just like when it comes to go to bed, like time to go to bed, I'm just laying there, just thinking about everything for like 30 minutes. It's just like I think about like the most random stuff and just stuff in my life, and that's probably not the most healthiest way to reflect. And I probably should put a lot of stuff on paper, but when it comes to setting those goals, everything is mental or on a piece of paper somewhere that is stuffed in the corner of my room because I just like misplaced it. So like when I write it down, and then that solidifies the thought in my head, but I think I find it hard to just keep it in one place, and like I find it hard to just go back to it and look at it once every couple months to make sure it aligns. So, what do you think I should start doing?
Yeah, I think just having more of a plan and just having maybe like even a whiteboard that you look at every day. This is definitely something I should do as well. Like I should take my own advice and actually plan out everything, because I would like set out plans for like daily routines and things I should check off. But a lot of times I don't get a lot of it done.
Yeah.
But it's just something that, I think, just having more of a routine. And,
What are your thoughts about like, is it voice logs or like I think I might have seen it somewhere. I don't know if it's a thing or if I'm making it up, but like just recording like a short voice memo of your thoughts opposed to writing it down.
I hear people talk about it.
Or like even videos, like record yourself talking and stuff.
Oh, I used to do that actually. Like I don't know if I've ever told you guys, but I have a YouTube channel that I used to
Oh.
post videos on, and then where I just say it was a series that I called it Minutes by Edmund because it would only be 1 minute,
Yeah.
and then I would just reflect on what's going on in my life, and I had like a series of like tomorrow I'm gonna get up at 6 a.m. before work to go to the gym, and then I kept that up, and then I just stopped.
Wait,
Just
when
like-
was
just
this?
like
Actually,
everything
I
else.
didn't even know about this.
Yeah, I probably didn't tell. Yeah, because I didn't really share it too much. But this was like late last year. I wouldn't say I was that consistent with it, but I would post, and definitely something I should start posting again.
Did you find that easier than writing, like journaling?
No,
No.
I wouldn't say so.
So you have to do his makeup and everything. So yeah,
Like I don't know, but they were both equally as hard. I think they were both equally like they weren't. I wouldn't say they were hard but then it was just they both took the equal amount of effort,
I see.
and it's like honestly it wasn't that much effort, but it's something that I should get back into, but I just haven't.
yeah.
Do you think that's something that would work for you?
I think that seems kind of fun. Hey,
Yeah.
and this is like a public YouTube channel. That
Yeah, so like the way I think about it is as if I put it out to the universe, and then and I know like a few of my friends are watching, they can pretty kind of to a degree hold me accountable because if I don't post, then they'll just know that I stacked off.
Yeah. No, that's good. Like, well, that's the main reason why, like, I personally wanted to do this podcast. Like, I think I could probably speak for you guys as well. Like, we have this journey to self-improvement and we want a place to document it all because we don't know everything, as you can tell. So we want to like showcase our growth, and also for me personally, I want to like log these moments as I try to level up in life. And like that's the main reason why I wanted to do this podcast. And like secondly, like now you've given me that idea, like that might be something that I do want to try out. You know, for the listeners out there, is that something that I should or shouldn't do? Like, if that's something that you'd like to see, just like leave a comment or on our like Instagram, or leave a comment on this video if you're watching on YouTube. If you'd like me to make a separate YouTube channel and like log those experiences, eh?
I mean, you don't even have to leave it up to them. I reckon you just do it. Just do it, and then they can comment if they want you to stop or not.
Hey man, shut up. Bro. I'm just trying to bring up the engagement with the comments and all that, man. Like, anyways, yeah, that's true. That might be something that you guys would see.
One question I've got for you guys is, you know, throughout this whole podcast, we've been like given like throughout all of the episodes, we've been given like, you should do this, you should do that. Where on that list, how high of a priority do you think someone should make journaling? Because they could start meditating, they could start going to the gym, they could, I don't know, find a job, make some friends. Where does this fit in all of that?
I don't know, it's hard for me to say because I don't even journal that much anymore. But I would say journaling is, let's say it would be, so what, let's say I would say number one, if I was to put gym, meditation and journaling, I would put journaling at number 2.
Number 2.
Over meditation.
Journaling over meditation.
Yeah.
I like that. I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like for most of the time, you get more bang for your buck. Like you're, like I feel, for me, like again, I think I kind of already said, like for me, most of the value of journaling comes from clearing my head, and meditation is like plays a big part in that as well. But I feel like I get more bang for my buck by writing things down.
Yeah. Well, for me, like it'll be very subjective, right? If on who that person is. If they're trying to get a girlfriend, they should journal because look, you got a girlfriend through journaling. So yeah, but in all seriousness, it would just depend on the type of person you are, right? Like I think that the gratitude journaling could help someone that is in a negative mindset, and they're typically very pessimistic and they're always just complaining about stuff. I would recommend doing that gratitude journaling and being more grateful about your life rather than just complaining like, you know, a sad piece of crap. So I would recommend journaling.
Sounds targeted.
Nah, it's not. Don't worry about it. But I'm just really passionate about the topic, you know. So yeah, just go. Like I would it's interchangeable. I'd say. I'd say maybe like if you're really if you're a really angry person, maybe just journaling would be a good way to start, because it's you can be grateful about the stuff you have. Maybe that would switch on that optimism. And secondly, it's another outlet for you to actually write down your thoughts, because we're living such a fast-paced life nowadays, and you rarely ever get to like think about stuff like on your own and write it down and reflect. And stuff that piss you off, like you might just be overreacting, and when you actually write it down, you're like, oh, it's probably not that bad. So I would recommend it if you are being honest with yourself and find that, okay, maybe I am a bit angry all the time and I don't know why. So try journaling, and I reckon you would find a lot more about yourself, and also like what you value as well.
Right, so it depends on like the type of problem, I guess.
Type of problem.
Yeah, what type of like thing that whoever the listener is trying to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess my recommendation is probably something pretty similar. It's like the problems you're dealing. I think what really helps me is I find journaling one of the easiest steps for like real change, because I feel like a lot of times you'll make like a Herculean effort to like, I don't know, start going to the gym or whatever. But just consistently like writing down your intention of like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym on these days, or like just reflecting on why you didn't go to the gym. It feels like a very like whatever task, but in my experience, it's actually like it actually changes you as a person and like the actions that you take, which is very interesting.
Finding out why, hey, like you said, people procrastinate and they don't know why they procrastinate typically. But when you actually think about it more, it's something that you're avoiding because it's going to be pushing you out of your comfort zone. So writing that down and finding out why you react to a certain way, I can see like benefit a lot. I tend to just keep a lot, like I tend to just ask myself why all the time, and just or like it's just all compartmentalized in my head. But I don't think that's as healthy as writing it down, and I probably should write it down. So it'll definitely help you introspect a lot, like about how you react.
Yeah, because it's a common misconception that, like, even for the longest time, I thought procrastination is just because you're lazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's like, yeah, just stop being lazy, just do it.
Yeah.
But well, you just got to dig a bit deeper, because there are a lot of things that you don't really realize when you don't actually think about it.
Yeah, it's like someone saying like, oh, stop being broke, go make some money. Like, what the hell? Where do I start, bro? Do I go start begging, or do I rob someone? Like, So I think when you're saying, don't be lazy, stop procrastinating, you're being lazy. It's the same as saying that, right? Like, stop being poor, go make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta dig a bit deeper, hey.
They're digging deeper. Yeah. So, I'd probably would start journaling, like, after this episode. I'd probably just go back to my gratitude journaling, maybe that video journaling. But what if it's like, if someone has been gratitude journaling, because that only takes like maybe 2 minutes out of your day, what's that next step that someone would take to get into more of the the hard stuff?
I think for me personally, I would just say setting your intentions.
Mm-hmm.
And just to think, just to say, like, what do you want to get done? What do you want to get done this week? What do you want to get done today? What do you want to get done in the next hour? Or also just setting your intentions for the day and just having a game plan. I feel like that would be a pretty good next step. Yeah, I would say. Like, what do you guys reckon?
Yeah. So this person has already been doing it for a while, and they want to kind of do more of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go the other way and go like talk about like big picture stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty hard, to be honest, like sitting down and like really thinking about your life like through writing. It's like it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of mental effort. So what I would say is like make it fun. So what I used to do with like my two housemates is like, before we were housemates, we would like once a year book an Airbnb, and then the whole time there would just be like reviewing the previous year and like planning like, oh, what are our goals for like the next year. We'll like get like Uber Eats, get a bunch of Indian food, make it fun kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think that was like a lot of fun, very meaningful bonds as well. Like we like built together, and then just like taking a step back, just looking at the big picture.
Yeah. Yeah, nice.
That's interesting. So you guys would, so there were three of you guys, right?
Yeah.
So you guys would just get together in a B&B purely just to journal together?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a bit
Interesting.
And the door doesn't get unlocked until you finish journaling.
I had the key.
The key is up in a mysterious hole somewhere.
Yeah. Brown. We would just like get together like once a year and just like because it's hard making time, because you do need like 6 hours, I reckon. So we wouldn't write it, we would make presentations like Google Slides.
Whoa,
and then we would like
crazy.
kind of take turns and just like going through our slides.
Yeah.
Make it fun,
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a good idea, because I feel like a lot of, especially guys especially, that they don't really journal together. Like I've never shared a journal entry with any one of my mates or anyone.
Yeah.
So it's definitely interesting. And you get to know a bit more about the person as well, right? It's not a lot. It's definitely forms a tighter bond. Because I would say a lot of the times it would just be a lot of like surface level stuff and
Shooting the shit, bit of banter kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good.
What are your thoughts about like carrying a journal with you on your nights out? Like, do you think that's an appropriate time to journal? Because I only asked because it came to my head. Like, I think maybe someone that I've seen before had like a little notepad in their pocket, and they just like write stuff down when they're out. Like, have you guys seen that at all?
As in like out like on a night out, or just like day to day?
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
I feel like I have seen it. I don't know where, but I feel like I have. But let's just say like,
let's play devil's like devil's advocate. Like, what do you reckon they were doing? Like, what was going on with them?
It's either they were pretending to be a food blogger / reviewer and like trying to get free food and drinks.
Yeah.
Or they were just, I don't know what they would write, bro, because were they gratitude journaling at Wow Super Club at 11 p.m?
I'm so grateful for my friends.
Yeah.
That I can come out with them. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's true. Like, thank you. Like, I'm very grateful for all these LGs around me. Yeah, hey, that could be. But yeah, but what are your thoughts then? What do you think? Like,
maybe he just wants to see like how he journals when he's drunk. Maybe he wants to like reflect, like, oh, so this is what my drunk self would say. That's the idea.
You read it next day, it's all squiggly lines.
Well, I don't know, man. Journaling on a night out, like me personally on a night out, journaling is definitely not even close to what I would think of doing.
Yeah.
I reckon
Not on my bucket list for sure.
I reckon maybe just write on your phone, Like if you have a thought or something, like pull out the notes app. Or, the voice app when you're drunk. It'll be kind of funny. Like, oh, I love my friends.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, instead of like leaving voicemails for your ex, you can just do that instead, right?
Oh, yeah, you can journal instead of leaving
leaving the voicemails. Yeah, exactly right. No, that's good. So, yeah, like, well, how about the other way then? Like, how about on a day out, not a night out where you're at the club or whatnot, but maybe just going to the shops? Like, do you think that'll be like an appropriate time to journal? Because like, is it the definition of journaling? Like, is there a is it just like sitting down and like being just really introspective and writing stuff down, or can it just be like observing stuff, like, and how you feel about stuff as you go? Like, what are your thoughts about that approach? Like, just writing.
I like the second one. I feel like that's like really underrated. Like very like not really talked about. But yeah, just going about like day to day, and just like when you notice a thought that's interesting to you, just like note it down.
Yeah, see, like I think maybe the club one was like just some random video that I saw and I thought about, and like I thought it was real life, but maybe it wasn't. But I'm pretty sure I've seen someone that I personally know, or just like maybe through a second degree, like a friend of a friend, just carry a notepad around and just write stuff. Yeah, and just like write stuff throughout the day and start just journaling as they were like going towards it. Actually, no, it was a friend's girlfriend. I know exactly who it was now. It was Mon, if you're watching this. It was like Gary's girlfriend. Yeah, she was just like journaling. I didn't really ask her like why, but yeah, that like she was just writing stuff down as we were having lunch and stuff. Yeah.
Maybe she was like planning something. But honestly, at the end of the day, journaling is whatever you want it to be, right? If it helps you, it helps you. There's no rules to it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just some ways help. Some ways are more beneficial to you than others, right?
Yeah, man.
There are no rules to this.
There are no rules to it. Well, yeah, like as we like approach the like tail end of this episode, you know, again, like what are some things that you have to say for someone that is starting off in this like self-improvement journey? And you know, what's one thing that we're going to do differently like after this?
That's something I'm going to do differently. Definitely get back into journaling again, and I'm going to film another YouTube video tonight, because it realistically only takes a minute, and if I do it in one take. But
Plug
yeah,
it. What's the channel?
It's just my name.
Just your name, Edmund Lai. on
Literally,
YouTube.
like I went to a party once, and then one of my mates that I don't even talk to, he was like, "Hey, when's the next Minutes by Edmund coming up?" I was like, how do you know about this?
Yeah.
Because I haven't spoken before that party. I haven't spoken to him in probably like a year and a half at least. And I was just like, how do you know this?
Algorithms too powerful.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, I must have crazy SEO then, eh? But then he was just like, oh, I was just wondering what you were up to, so I just Googled your name, and then it came up in the videos. So yeah, it's just my full name.
Damn.
You just Google my full name, and
So
you would find everything about me. You could find my grappling, all my grappling stats, my YouTube videos on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't say that, but like, yeah, you can find all the information.
So your friend just decided to Google you one
Yeah.
night, like at 11:35 p.m.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just found all my videos. Yeah, it's just like that.
I wonder how often that happens. Like, you know, how often your like people's names get, you know, your friends start Googling your name. I don't feel like that's a regular occurrence, eh?
I've done it before.
You've done it
I've
before?
sat around with my housemates and like, let's just see what everyone's up to. Like go through people's like old photos, accidentally like one, and oh shit. It's fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
Stalk their LinkedIn, stalk their Instagram.
Or do you Google them, or do you just like?
Nah, usually LinkedIn and Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you just pick a target person.
Yeah, we'll just like sit around like this and like, oh, I wonder who's like what this person's up to.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. That actually does sound pretty fun. Yeah, and you start like gossiping, like, oh yeah,
Yeah, I hate this guy.
this guy, yeah, I'm doing better than him. Yeah.
So it's like when like you guys, like a lot of times you would huddle up and go and make like a fake account on Tinder or something and say like, oh, let's see who we can find.
Yeah. I don't know if that's like that similar, but yeah.
Oh, well, I've done that before.
Yeah.
Like, we just sit around and we make like a fake girls account and we just see which guys we can find.
Like
Or vice
it's like
versa.
it's like
catfishing some.
catfishing,
some of
we
your-
don't
it's like catfishing your old friends.
Yeah, start asking for money.
They turn up to the restaurant.
Oh my
You're
god.
trying to go on a date. It was actually me.
Oh my goodness, bro.
We don't go that far. We probably download it for like 2 hours, look around, and then delete it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Dang, man. Are you sure, bro? Like that the recipient of that like would have had to do some really deep journaling to get over that, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's why they should listen to this episode.
Yeah, but what's one key takeaway for you? Like, or one thing you'll do different, if anything?
Yeah. Maybe a bit of a reminder to like set up fun events, fun like reflective events for like me and my friends. But apart from that, you know, give journaling a try. If it doesn't stick, it doesn't stick. But I reckon give it a try.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna start like doing more gratitude journaling, and I think maybe start journaling a bit more, like either on my phone or on a piece of paper, like for combat sports. That would probably propel my game a bit more. Like especially with jiu-jitsu, like I still feel like I'm a fucking, you know, fish out of water, and I'm just like repeating the same fucking moves that I know. So, but like I think that'll probably help me a lot because it's very different to Muay Thai, and because like I think you have more time to think, and like Muay Thai is very like reaction based, and but yeah, I think like reflecting and journaling would probably help out with my jiu-jitsu game, and maybe I can just apply that to other parts of my life as well. as I start getting familiar with, how to reflect with journaling through, with jiu-jitsu and all that. Yeah. And for the audience as well, I would just recommend starting small, right? We all recommend just starting small. And gratitude journaling would be something I would recommend. 3 things that you're grateful about. And it can be like, it might sound silly, right? Like, oh, I'm grateful for the clean water I get to drink every day because make sure to do because, not just I'm grateful and that's it. Like there has to be a because that helps you think a little bit more into it and why you're grateful about it. So it might sound silly, like I said, I'm grateful for this clean water I get to drink because kids in like a third world country are drinking E. coli infested water, right? So yeah, like it like just small stuff like that sounds stupid, but it will help you live a better life. You won't notice it right away, right? But it's subconsciously, it will definitely make a change. Yeah. So, yeah, like, I think that wraps up today's episode, eh?
Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Well,
thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys found, this episode useful, and I know we sidetracked a bit on like some other funny stuff, but if you guys like this episode, make sure to give it a like if you're watching on YouTube, and make sure to follow us on our socials, Backdoor Bants on Instagram and Backdoor Banter on TikTok. I'll leave the links in the description below. Thanks, everyone. See you on the next one.
See you guys.